good morning or good afternoon. It is just about afternoon here in the UK. Just about. Welcome to the Traction channel. Oh, hang on. That's not me. Where am I? This is the ghost of John reporting live from Traction HQ. I'm looking down and I do see my body, my legs, my arms. They are all here. Let's just give that a quick refresh, shall we? I'm okay, I promise. How are we all getting on? Hey Thierry, how's it going? Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome along. I don't know what happened there, but I'm alive, I can promise you that. It's time for another Assetto Corsa EVO update, this time version 0.6. We keep returning to this game every time there's an update, just to evaluate where it's at, look at the new content, explore some of the things that have changed on the game. And we're going to be doing this live today. I haven't yet had the chance to go in and test all of this in any great detail. I've had a very quick go on a preview build. But this is going to be really the proper experimentation. So you're going to have to bear with me as we work our way through this and just have a look. I'm going to be obviously looking at the new cars, the new track. We also have some changes to the way the AI behaves, I think relating to the track maps. So I don't know the full details on the technical side of that, but I will of course have another go at racing against the AI and try it out, see how it feels on various circuits. So we will be doing that today. There's also an important update to the Nurburgring Nordschleife. I say important, I don't necessarily think it was mega important, or it wasn't the thing that I would have felt like needed updating, right? Because Assetto Corsa EVO always had a good version of Nordschleife that was very up to date, but now it has the most up to date by far in sim racing, which I think is very cool. It has the 2026 spec Nurburgring Nordschleife. We'll have to see if the curbs look new and different, and the change in the positioning of one of the barriers, for example, has been implemented. Nothing that's going to change the track in any significant way, just a few curbed styles and placements. So we'll obviously just have a wee look and see how it all is. In fact, we might just do that first. No, I'll not do that first. We'll start off by looking at the new track Sebring and one of the new cars. So let me just zoom that out a little bit so you can see my steering inputs and see my failed gear changes, as we've gotten used to now on Assetto Corsa EVO. Here we go. Let me just grab my gloves if I can find them. But yeah, let us know how you're getting on. Do let us know. Hey Jesse Pinkman, welcome. Oh, sorry Jesse, I am sorry. This was all very last minute. Basically, we didn't know when this update was going to drop today. It's a complicated story, but we did not expect the update to drop when it did. There was a few last minute changes, and I was therefore not. I started working on other things because I didn't know when this was going to drop, and I have other things I need to get on with. And then suddenly it dropped, so we're back on this. So it's a very ad hoc. I need to actually make sure the controls are all working, because basically, after I put the preview update build on the game, which we had access to, and then I've changed back to the regular public build, I've lost all my steering binding presets. So I've only got this one preset, which I've just adjusted just now, basic setup. So I've lost all my buttons. All of that needs to be checked. Obviously, all the graphic settings and stuff have been reset. So there's going to be a little bit of playing around with things to make sure we're good. But I guess that gives us a chance to see if we spot any UI changes. I'm also hoping that the CPU optimization helps us out in terms of frame rates and things like that. Watkins Glen, I remember specifically having a few issues, so we will maybe investigate that. Anyway, I'm going to start driving, because we've got new content to look at, and I could yabber all day, but you guys want to see some stuff. So let's start by looking at Sebring International Raceway, new circuit. We'll maybe begin in the Mustang GT3, a new GT3 car to the game. We'll start with a practice mode, and we'll just have a wee look at Sebring. 10 minutes of practice, that sounds good to me. Do a few laps. Right, where are my gloves? I found one. I need these to protect my skin and my hands, because it's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Hey! I've got tangled up, but I found the other one. Hey Terj, good morning. How's it going? Paul Byrne, I can show Can I show an FPS counter? I can show my own FPS counter. The way that OBS is working, though, it's just showing what's on the game and not any of the overlays. So I can tell you the FPS. I might be able to show, at little moments, I might be able to show you the monitor, which would be slightly different. So what I can do is bring up, I can bring up a form of FPS counter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to investigate that real quick. I'll maybe have a look at Steam's options and bring up the Steam one. Bear with. Alright, here we go. Show performance monitor. Let's see if we can actually see it. Top right. We'll go bottom left. So this should work when... So I might not be able to show you it all the time, but I do also have a monitor option, which I don't know if it'll make it any worse or better. But, there you can see... That's frozen something. I crashed everything, or if you guys can see me, or if I'm frozen, it's all gone funny. Now the game's crashed. Cool. Excellent. Trying to show you the monitor crashed the game. Right, we're going to come back to that, guys. I'll talk you through the FPS. I can see it myself. I'm just not going to risk playing around with all those things because apparently it's not liking it very much. So, we'll relaunch the game. Let me just revisit those settings. Anyway, what a great start to proceedings. I go invisible, the game crashes, all of the fun stuff. All of the fun stuff. Thank you, Terj, for what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting the podcast. Very much appreciated. RIP indeed, Yala. Hopefully you can now hear me. I'm just rebooting the game, so we are going to get to this stuff. Is it still dead, or are you guys okay? Well, I'll bring up the game in just a second. I'm just rebooting the game because it did die, and I need to now... I'm going to get rid of that FPS counter because I don't know if that had any influence on things, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Overlay. Alright. Game should pop up in a sec. Okay, excellent, excellent. We're still live, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Game should reappear in just a mo. Hopefully. Oh, game's crashed again. What's going on? Why does the game keep crashing? This is not a good start. Not a good start. Try again. What is going on today? It's been a wild morning, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we have had all sorts happening this morning. I feel like on a technical level, everything has been going wrong. Created a little short about this Assetto Corsa update this morning, and edited it. All looked absolutely fine. Exported the video, no problem. We set it live, and then all of a sudden noticed it had this masked halfway through, which I have no idea why. So we had to re-edit that, find out what was going on. It's crashed again. Why is it crashing? We're going to close Steam. We are going to close Steam. If it gets to it, I might have to do a full PC restart. I just don't know why it's now crashing all the time, to be honest. I do apologize, guys. Thank you for your patience. we will get to the content. Anyway, what did you have for breakfast? What did you have for lunch? I had some shreddies. Some shreddies with some raisins, or sultanas actually, and some dried bananas. It was very, very nice. Very, very nice. Jim, I haven't tried that. Right, Assetto Corsa EVO launcher. Could you please allow me to fire up the game and drive? That would be, I would be very, very grateful, and it would be much appreciated. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not going to try that. I'm not going to try the FPS counter. It did seem to have... I noticed as well OBS kind of crashing. It's like the whole... And weirdly, if any of you watched my Assetto Corsa EVO, I'm going to say 0.4 stream. I think it happened again in 0.5, and it's only ever happened on Assetto Corsa EVO. But basically, if you remember, when the game crashed, my stream also crashed, and I froze and started glitching and doing all sorts of weird stuff, and the stream fully died. These things have happened a few times, and it only happens on Assetto Corsa EVO, and I have no idea why. But it's never, I promise you, that has never happened on any other game, unless I'm forgetting a one-off moment. But it's happened on now 3 streams on Assetto Corsa EVO that something weird has gone on with the game, and the game crashing has affected the OBS. Okay. Hopefully this black screen turns into the game very soon. Hey, okay. See what happens. Nuggets for breakfast? What, chicken nuggets? Or golden nuggets? Important questions. Yeah, okay, fair. Fair, Thierry. You don't need to disclose the details of your breakfast either. It was, you know, it's a tough question. Alright, well, we try and drive. Let's pause the music. That's a bit loud, isn't it? I'll tell you what, we'll drive a little bit. I don't want to press anything in case I break it, to be honest, so... If it's too loud, please let me know. I think it might be a little bit loud. But it is a Mustang, so it should sound good. Anyway, Sebring. Sebring International Raceway, one of the best circuits in North America, in my opinion. It's bumpy, it's difficult, it flows beautifully, and then some corners make you very upset. Oh, okay, I've already, I guess, crossed a line, so lap's invalid. Immediately what you'll notice, RVs lining the side of the road on the right, RVs lining the side of the road on the left, loads of flags, big American flag. It looks very different to the Le Mans Ultimate version straight away, just in terms of atmosphere. You've got smoke from the barbecues, that's very 12-hour. I was reading up and watching about more of the history of the 12-hour recently, because there's some amazing stories from the 70s and 80s of that race, and the atmosphere is what everyone talks about. Look at this. There's atmosphere. Thank you for the feedback on the sound. It might get a bit loud now. So obviously we're on default setup. First lap in the Mustang. We will do some comparisons. I mean, obviously I'll talk a little bit about how it feels out of the box compared to other like GT3 sims. I'm going to bring up some telemetry for myself. So I've got 55 FPS at the moment. I'm on high graphics quality. The preset, that is. Obviously no AI cars to worry about, so we'll just see if the performance is better than Watkins Glen was out of the box. I am surprised straight away though how different it looks to the Sebrings that I've gotten used to driving recently on iRacing, Le Mans Ultimate, R-Factor 2 before that of course. It just has a completely different feel to it, and I think it's just because, oh, hello. I think it's because of the flags and the atmosphere and everything, but also just, I don't know, there's a different colour palette, I think. Ooh. Okay, the GT3 needs a bit of, I guess, tyre warm-up. But I massively appreciate the effort that's gone into the atmosphere here to bring this circuit to life. Because out the box, the GT3 is feeling quite lively, actually. The setup's pretty aggressive, I think. It feels like I'm losing traction easily, which normally the TC on a default setup would be potentially a little more lenient. Apparently that's track limits, and the lap's been invalidated. So the rear's coming around a little bit under braking, so it is, I think, a relatively pointy, aggressive setup by default. Brake at the 200. Ooh, you see? I'm almost like locking up the rears there. Bit of curb. Again, rear coming round on the next bit. It does feel like I can quite quickly, though, get... Like, it feels... I'm going to use the word authentic straight away. Which is, you know, generally speaking, pretty good on Assetto Corsa EVO. I do think the race cars, and I've said this every time, I think the race cars aren't quite as on point as the road cars compared to other sims that are obviously more focused on the series that they run, like your GT3s and stuff. At the moment it's just natural, but with a bit of instability, let's say, is how I would describe the feeling. Not objectively, subjectively, of course. Right, on the brakes hard, ABS working okay there, bit of throttle. You can see the TC kicking in all the way through here. See, if I keep it pinned, I'm just drifting through these corners. Let's turn up the traction a little bit. Go for a TC5. Wonder if the brake bias is quite rearward as well. I'll have a look at that. But you can see there, I don't know if you can see it, but the way the back end is just sort of whatever way I'm pointing in terms of my body language with the car, the back end is following and under braking. It's not super stable, which is honestly a good thing normally if you want to go faster, but it's just not what I expect on the kind of default setup, generally speaking. We'll go a little forward on the brake bias. Ooh. Correcting all the way still. That was way too early, obviously. Over the bumps. Now, where are the track limits here? Because we should be able to run all the way out, surely. Okay, we were fine that time. 203.9. Use the throttle to get the car around the corner. Yeah, okay. Can't speak. I am getting a lot of feeling through the suspension and everything. I feel like I can... The bumps and the tyre model through the first corner, for example, I could actually feel pretty well when the car was loaded and when it was going to snap there. I knew comfortably when I could put the power down, but then when I did put the power down, again, the rear was feeling pretty lively under braking there. You can see me sort of having to wrestle the steering a little bit just to try and keep it straight, and I'm not doing that deliberately. That's just the car kind of fishtailing a little bit. Still getting about 60 FPS on average, which is obviously what I'm capped at with this monitor and with my settings and everything. So I should be, I'm aiming for 60 basically. Yeah, that was, the tyres are coming up now, and that was a little bit more dignified. So I think also tyre temperature is going to be making a difference to the sort of early oversteer. I would just expect, I guess, based on other sims and everything, a bit more early lap understeer rather than oversteer. Lap times though, 2:03.9 on the first lap, which was a pretty scrappy lap, is actually pretty fast. I mean, it didn't feel like a 2:03 quality of lap, considering I'm just getting up to speed with everything, and I have no idea yet where the track limits are. So the GT3s are feeling pretty quick, let's say, lap time wise, out of the box. Big fan of the atmosphere, yeah. I do think, I actually totally agree that this is looking, honestly, the difference being the atmosphere. This Sebring is looking more alive than any other Sebring I've experienced so far. I don't know if the track itself is more or less accurate. It's probably very similar with the quality of laser scanning. Why is that track limits? I'm guessing it's maybe on the inside. That would have been a 2:03.0. So yeah, I'm not gonna comment on which is more realistic, obviously, because I would need to sit down and stare at onboards and speak to drivers and everything. But yeah, the feeling is more positive with how it looks, let's say. Ooh. Even if the game's still not quite running as smoothly as it would be for me, I think, in LMU single player. Yes, I'm getting 60 FPS, but it's still, something's not quite there performance-wise. You can just sometimes see a tiny little bit of stuttering. I've obviously got screen tearing, but A reminder, I haven't gone and adjusted graphic settings from the high preset because everything got reset when I installed this update. What I am going to say is, out of the box, the Mustang feels closer to what I would expect a GT3 race car to feel like in a sim, based on the experiences in other sims and in real GT cars, not GT3. It's feeling a little bit more natural, and it's actually reacting in a way I would expect more than other race cars in this sim have done in the past, even though I'm not saying straight out of the box, wow, this is the absolute ultimate natural feeling GT3 driving experience. And it's as I said, the rear end instability under braking, the rear end stepping out easily under throttle, maybe just a tyre temp thing because it is getting a little better now, but the car is still feeling quite lively. But it's a better starting point than my experience in like the Porsche Cup car, for example, on this game. Don't think it's a stretch to say that. So, positive. We'll try the Ferrari, of course, as well. Let's go in a little. How are we going to avoid track limits through here then? So you can attack on the way in. Let's go for that. That should not be track limits. And we should be able to run out to the wall. Okay, so yeah, I think I was getting the problem earlier in the corner. Yeah, there's a lot of wheel correction. Yeah, if I try and be smooth, let me try and drive smoothly. And bear in mind, this is with TC turned up. See the rear coming around there? This is with TC turned up and with the brake bias moved forward, so it should be more stable than the default now. And I will try and drive smoothly and we'll see what happens. That's how much rotation I can get just with the brake pedal. That's me not using steering to get that car turned. It was literally just letting the brake pedal do it for me. Same again with the hairpin. I'll try and be really smooth under braking. I'll not try and correct anything. I'll just let it happen. Turn in. That was a little bit better, to be honest. This is the part of the track where it feels like, even though I get a number saying 60 FPS for me, it doesn't quite feel perfectly smooth. This is my last lap anyway. Having to correct a little bit through here. Brake late. Let the car turn on the brake pedal again. On the power, I have to correct that. I do have a generally relatively aggressive style, I would say. I don't have a smooth GT3 driving style, and I think it hinders me in certain situations for sure. I generally like to feel the car moving around underneath me and use that to my advantage, which is why my driving style probably suits different cars more than GT3. So don't look at my driving as exactly how you have to drive these things, but what I would say is if I'm saying this car is pretty oversteery and you're having to correct it a lot, anyone who struggles with oversteer is going to find this, I mean, look at this, all the way in there, is going to find this a challenge, I think. Maybe it's that yellow line on the inside we have to watch out for. Alright. Room for improvement, I would say, but really not bad. A decent, solid start. Much better than plenty of other sims out there as a GT3 driving experience, but not the best out-of-the-box GT3 driving experience I have ever experienced. That's my very quick summary of the Mustang. To show you what it looks like from the outside, but I mean, you guys know what this looks like. I haven't spun out wildly. Thank you, Jim. I think a lot of people are going to jump in this car and crash. It'll be interesting though, because we're going to try some online racing later, hopefully. And we'll see if... we'll probably be able to test the collisions, but not deliberately, because, let's be honest, it's going to get exciting, and there's usually contact in these Assetto Corsa daily races. But it's going to be interesting to see if other people are spinning off everywhere. Okay. Shall we try... I don't think there's near infinite grip. So I find that comment, so I'm reading the comment here from LMS Slady. Is there near infinite grip like in ACC? I struggle with that comment because oh, infinite rear grip. I struggle with that comment because I find ACC... I do not experience infinite rear grip on ACC. I find there is a clear limit to what I can do with the car. So I'm afraid I struggle to answer that one. It does feel different to ACC though. I still think as a GT3 out the box, I still think I'd rather jump on ACC right now than Assetto Corsa EVO. For that one car anyway, just for example, but it's not bad at all. This is also new. We have the Ferrari 296 GT3 and the 288 GTO. We'll do a quick lap in the 296. And I'm actually going to go with Watkins Glen because I want to see if the performance has improved on Watkins Glen. We'll go with the full GP inner loop. This is more of a test just to see if my FPS still drops when I get around to the back of the circuit, so I'm not going to do too much here. I just want to know if the apparent CPU performance optimization is noticeable for me in this element. We'll get to the Countach, do not worry. Do not worry. This is not on triples, hands of us. This is on a single screen, so what you see is exactly what I see, other than my face on the left-hand side of the... There we are. My brain is broken. Alright. Let's drive the Ferrari. See if we have the same issues in terms of the car being very aggressive and oversteery early on. Obviously I'm using a big round steering wheel because I want to just use the same wheel for all the cars today. Let you hear the sounds, which are also improved as well in general across the game. Remember, you can read all about the update on the TraxionGG website if you want to find out more of the details of what's been changed. All I can do is kind of tell you what I'm experiencing as it's happening here. Okay, way more stable under braking. Not a single bit of movement from the rear of this mid-engine 296. Obviously the Mustang with its engine in the front. More understeer, less oversteer out the box as well. Performance looked much smoother. Much smoother towards the boot. Yeah, so this is more what I'm used to with an outlap in a GT3, to be honest. If I nail the throttle now, okay, bit of oversteer, but instantly the traction control's kicking in there, and that was me driving like a numpty, trying to put the foot down too early just to test it. But the TC kicked in a lot more than the Mustang. The Mustang was a lot more kind of, a lot more movement was allowed before anything happened. A bit of understeer, then oversteer. Much more stable under braking. I'm still getting a tiny bit of movement, but feels like a nice amount of movement that I could then dial in some more movement by moving the brake bias rearward. By default, this feels more of a kind of comfortable all-round position, I would say, for most people. Maybe Sebring is different as well as a track. I wonder if that affects things. So a bit of understeer through the last corner. This feels more, yeah, more balanced. Safer. Ooh, hello. Interesting bump. Still slightly... There's something slightly odd in the way that it's handling those flat-out corners and in the way that it feels in the suspension, the tyres. I'm feeling something slightly bizarre. It's like there's a... At certain moments, there's a perfect connection with the road and I can feel everything through the tyre. And then suddenly, midway through the corner, something will go a little bit numb and it just feels... All of a sudden, it's like, wait, no, this is a game, this isn't real. Something's not quite feeling natural. And I'm talking very subtle thing there. Too much understeer. Have to back out of it. Sounds good though. Do love the look of the 296. Think it's the best looking Ferrari GT3 car since the 430, which is possibly controversial. Lots of people think it's a lot uglier than the older, the 488 and the 458, but now this is I think they got the styling wrong for those cars and they fixed it with the 296. There we go. Got the rear going now. The balance does feel a tiny bit odd. Too much understeer. Oh dear. But hey, I mean, we can have a fun GT3 race online. And you want the cars to feel different. Obviously, you can do the setup work and everything like that. 147.3 is not a great lap time. But there we go. Alright, we'll come back to GT3s because I want to do an AI race with the GT3s a little later on. I do have Thank you, Terj. Thank you, Terj. Let me have a coughing fit away from the mic. Yeah, we do. A new episode of the podcast came out this morning. If you head over to the Traction Control Podcast YouTube channel, separate channel, we talk nonsense about sim racing and racing games every single week. So yeah, new episode dropped this morning. Go and check it out. Thank you for the plugging, Terj. Much appreciated. We'll try wet weather racing. Right, what we're gonna do? Emperor Pigeon. Any track in particular you want me to test as well? I'll tell you what I will do. Bye, Thierry. Thank you for joining. What I will do is explore the Nordschleife update. I want to kind of do a lap of the Nordschleife. I'll talk through some of the changes that we can spot. It's all quite subtle, so I'll do my best. I haven't tried it yet either, so I'll be working it out as we go. We're going to go for the tourist one, and we're going to drive the Countach. Let's give ourselves a headache while we do it. Okay, let's just go for... Hang on a minute. I'm trying to get used to this UI as well. UI is something I really... Countach is not quite sitting in the right position on my... Hang on a second. I think that's how it should look, but that's how it does look. The one I've bought, which is my orange Countach. We're gonna test the AI. We're gonna test the AI. Wonder if I can fix the little thumbnail for the Countach by moving it in the camera. I don't think that should make a difference, but I'm going to try anyway. Nope, it's still kind of floating it off to the side. Anyway, it's the right car. not the most important thing in the world. Let's just do like a nice... Let's do an early morning, like 6:30 a.m. run. A new dawn on the Nordschleife. We'll give this Countach a blast. This is the LP5000QV as well, which is like probably the highest performance spec Countach, I'm gonna say. Maybe there was a special edition that had even more performance than this, but this was the kind of mid-80s special edition, essentially. So it's not gonna be fast by modern supercar terms, probably more like a kind of current day sports car in terms of its performance, but it's gonna sound cool. It's gonna drive interestingly and difficultly. I've done 2 laps of this car at Sebring to get some screenshots for the thumbnails and stuff. So we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully I'll be able to use the H-pattern shifter as well. And we'll see if we blow up the engine like we normally do, or ruin the clutch is more accurate. Okie dokie. So, 2026 updated version of the Nordschleife, the most up-to-date in sim racing, we expect, considering it was already one of the most up-to-date in sim racing. Oh, still enable pit limiter. Alright, it's on the pit limiter all the way through here. I always forget about that. Here we go. Okay. So, let's have a listen. Love the engine note. Oh wait, I'm driving a Countach. Let's not forget, I'm not driving a race car. There's going to be some terrible attempts at heel and toe here, I'm sure. Okay, so the things you're mainly looking out for here are curb changes, to be honest. Stay in second. So some of the curbs have been flattened out a little. There's been a change in the width of the curbs as well. So I think nothing too noticeable so far. I think we might have some changes to the curb on the right here. Didn't see anything. Maybe the lighting wasn't the best idea there. Let's see, this section here, I think that is new, slightly. Just that curb on the right there, or at least it's been changed. Same with the exit here. Feels very, very similar. I would need to do them back-to-back, cross-reference them to see where the differences actually lie, because that all felt fairly similar. I think, oh, that's different, I think. That curb is narrower, further in. I think you kind of need to be like hot lapping regularly around this place, like someone who does hundreds of laps to really be able to, you know, without being on a hot lap, spot all the differences, because you'll really notice the curve differences when you actually get out there and are pushing all the limits and using them all the time. But yeah, there's nothing so far that's going to transform your driving experience at all, really. The only thing we're talking about here is the pro esports guys who are looking for every single tenth. Some of the curbs will adjust their angles into the corners, for instance. Ooh, that was too committed. No damage, we're fine. Maybe there is damage, I don't know. Ooh. The Xiaomi barrier, or the Xiaomi banner, I should say, on the bridge above us also kind of dates this as well. Big curve, of course, still. Not sure if that exit curve's the same, honestly. Not sure. No, you didn't see anything, Turge, exactly. Just skip those 10 seconds and you wouldn't know anything had happened. Countach is feeling as tricky as you would expect it to feel, to be honest. I can get it sliding a little bit. Again, these sorts of road cars on Assetto Corsa EVO are the cars that I love driving on the game, and these are the cars I want to be racing online, because they're just something totally unique in sim racing, I think, to do a proper race, a ranked race in these types of cars rather than dedicated modern racing cars. So far, the clutch is feeling okay, though. I haven't done anything that's made me unable to drive. Probably going to curse it by saying that. Normally, at this point, I'm stuck on the side of the road. Wonder if there have been changes to those things as well. Ooh, didn't see anything. Let's not hit a barrier. Let's hit one barrier then. Now I've damaged the car. Is it still straight though? Yeah, it's straight enough. Just gives me an excuse if I bin it again, can blame it on the damage. Over the Adnau Bridge, back up the hill. This all... I mean, honestly, guys, it's clearly like if you're someone who is an expert around the Nordschleife and you've driven hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laps around here and you've been there in real life a lot, you will be much better at spotting the curbs that are different, because they will be more, you know, you'll be able to just pick them out as you're driving along. But if you're someone who just knows the layout of the Nordschleife or doesn't know the layout of the Nordschleife and you know, doesn't know every single detail of every curb off by heart, you're probably not going to notice much difference, at least up to this point in this circuit. I know there are some changes just after the carousel. We'll see if that's in the game as well. But I'm talking about the changes in real life that I know about, of course. The car's feeling not as good as it did, but it's still relatively straight, I would say. Countach not unbelievably fast, but very, very, I think this would be fun to drive around like Imola or Atlanta or something like that. Performance has been pretty spot on for me so far. I say that, not quite 60 FPS, but it's feeling smooth. So there's a difference for me in my performance and my experience of EVO between the FPS I'm getting and the actual reality of what I'm seeing on my screen. Sometimes it says 60, but it feels stuttery and unoptimized, whereas other times it says 50, but it feels really smooth. Okay, we're going to look out for some changes heading towards Carousel. So I believe there's a new sort of entry curb on the right here, so I'm going to just slow down a little bit extra. Yeah, that curb there just opens up the entry for Carousel a little bit more. So that will affect the racing drivers, of course. And then on this run up here, I think there's been a change to the barrier placement on the right through this left-hander, so let's have a look. Should be closer to the road. Maybe a slight change in curb as well. So here you attack this left-hander, you run out wide. That barrier, yeah, that's different. Nice little flat runoff area, but the barrier is very, very close, so maybe to stop people trying to abuse that as much. But I still think drivers are now going to be running all the way out to that wall. And I think you're still going to see accidents there. Lighting looking beautiful, even if it's actually hindering what we can see. Right, let's try and throw this Countach around a little bit. We're on supercar tires as well, so ooh, that's grass that I couldn't see. That's how easy it is to go wrong. Alright, now we're properly broken. I mean, to be honest, you've seen most of the new bits. I don't think there's, other than just, again, subtle curb changes. I honestly think the carousel and the section after that, I can't remember the name of it right now, but that section is the biggest change with the barrier. And I've destroyed my Countach. Here we go. If we drive like this, oh my goodness. It's as if nothing happened. I love that the back window's smashed as well. You can just about see the tiny little back window is like cracked and smashed. When it's in certain light, you can tell. That's quite funny. It's all the glass. There it is, look. I've stopped paying attention to where the changes are. I think Ross is also going to do some investigating. That curb, I think, has changed. I think it's mainly exit curbs and the format of them, the flatness of them and the width of them. I would say that's the biggest thing, and there's quite a few that are subtly different. I think Ross is going to potentially do a bit of a back-to-back test later on today, so if he does indeed do that and finds the differences in a little bit more clarity, I think you'll be able to see an article about that on the Traxion website. I'm not going to guarantee it because I don't know what he's discovering, but what I'm going to say is if you want to find out more of the specific changes, there's a chance that we'll have all the info on the website from investigator Ross McGregor. Anyway, coming to the end of the run. An 8:21 with multiple crashes. And beautiful Countach looking much worse for wear. Any changes in the car park as well? I think there were some building changes this year. I like the details though. You've got Genesis, the Hyundai N ring taxi, all those buildings. Very, very cool. And you've got the charging stations in the corner too. Turs, you're on fire. You're on fire. I mean, how does it feel? Countach feels good. Countach feels good. I like it. All of those crashes were my fault. It's a car you have to respect, and if I'm driving this in real life, I'm not driving it like an idiot, like I was doing there. Let's be real. But yeah, it feels fun. Lots of weight through the steering. You feel the suspension working. I think it's drivable, but a proper challenge, which is exactly what it should be, I guess. So there you go. I would like to test the AI, because there have been AI changes, and it's one of my bugbears with this game. So, to test the AI, shall we do a Sebring GT3 race? I think that sounds like a sensible idea. Sebring being the new track, of course. So let's go Sebring. Let's go with... We do have more other new cars, by the way, which I will quickly show you. We have the Audi R8 LMS GT4 EVO, which sounds really nice. We also, and I'll maybe do an AI race in the GT4s as well. We have, what else is new? The Ferrari 288 GTO, which is here. Lovely, lovely 288 GTO. Don't think it's as quick as the Countach. And what else do we have? Is that all? 2 GT3? Oh no, the Porsche Rennsport, of course. We also have the 911 GT3R Rennsport 992. There you go. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. There it is. Some nice liveries for that as well. Ooh, yeah. And you've got an unrestricted version, and you've got a sort of GT3 spec version as well. So, tell you what, if we drive that GT3 car, because it's not really a GT3 car, but if we've got a GT3 version, I wonder if that's just bulking up the class, essentially. 20.4 is the performance indicator. What's the performance indicator on the other GT3s? 22.3. So there's a bit of discrepancy there. I don't quite understand the performance indicator. 19.4 on the Mustang. Interesting. Well, let's drive the Porsche and let's do a race around Sebring, and let's just see what the crack is with the AI. Assuming this GT3 version is sort of a GT3-ish spec. We'll do a quick race. We will do 5 laps. Starting at 3 o'clock, that's fine. Let's do a custom grid so we get GT3s. Balanced grid. We'll do it. Let's see if the opponent's skill is a bit more balanced. We'll go 95 to 100. Will give us 19 opponents, so it's a 20-car field. Generate grid. GT3s. Obviously, we've got the BMW in there. Why is there an unrestricted Porsche? I'm not quite sure. There's a Ferrari Challenge car in there. Okay, we don't want those. So let's get rid of the non-GT3s. No. No. We'll keep the Mustang. Let's go along. Get rid of this Lambo Super Trofeo. We'll get rid of the GT2. So it's kind of creating us a kind of multi-class grid, because these cars are obviously relatively close in performance. But I want a GT3. Oh, Carrera Cup cars in there as well. I want a GT3 field. Can I add in more? 8. Generate. Oh, it's just going to create a new one, isn't it? Can I customize these? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Let's get this down to give us a better chance. GT3s, GT3s, GT3s. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to up the opponents to 44, and then we're going to get rid of them so that they get the right number. That's what we're going to do. Okay, generate grid. 44 cars, and we're going to bin non-GT3s. So we've got Ferraris, BMWs, unrestricted Porsche, go in the bin. Super Trofeo, go in the bin. I wish you could just select GT3. That would be nice. Mustangs at the back. Mustangs, Mustangs, Mustangs. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Mustangs. We'll get rid of a couple. We also have 1, 2. Get rid of that one. There we go. That's a bit more balanced. We've got too many BMWs. We'll get rid of a couple of random ones with the skill levels. And we will also get rid of Kurt. Get rid of a couple of Ferraris. And then we should be good to go. This is a little bit of a process. I'd quite like to randomize the grid. I don't know what... I'm scared to click balance grid because I don't know what that'll do. So we're just going to go with this. We're going to go with it and see what happens. Opponent behavior at the moment is only locked to safe. And I'm going to start somewhere in the middle. 13th. What I'm going to leave it on the high quality preset and we'll see how performance is. Obviously I've done a few laps of practice in the Mustang, so I kind of know my way around the track. So we should be okay. Right. Barry, I'm still I mean, this is what this stream is about, right? I'm working this out as we go along. So one thing I can comment on already is Watkins Glen feels more optimized with the performance, because it randomly would lag no matter what car I was driving, no matter the fact that I had no AI on track. I always had a bit of strange performance issues with Watkins Glen. That seems to be solved on first look. But yeah, other than that, it seems to be doing cool. I think it's better. AI has been poor in the past, so let's see how it is around Sebring. We'll maybe give Brands Hatch a go as well. Happy to test that. Alright. Let's try a race. First AI race with the new update. First drive of the new Porsche as well. Cool. Okay, that shouldn't have gone. That's weird. I had the clutch fully in, but it did not. Do I have this auto clutch thing on because of what was happening? It's all reset, of course. I can't even remember where you have to go for all those things. Anyway, we're just going to restart it. It's not these ones, is it? It's a bit confusing where you go for all the specific settings that you want, because we only get gameplay, HUD, controls, video, audio. Anyway, let's just try it. We'll do a gear change start, which is not ideal. Try and race these guys naturally. They're all slowing down a bit on the straight. Very single file on the inside through turn 1, but we had one car sort of going, well, two BMWs going side by side a little. Right, that one's looking to the inside. Ooh. Everyone checking up. I mean, that's fairly normal. Oh, thank you, Ferrari. Unnecessary side-to-side contact there. I think I was leaving enough room. I don't know why. So I was a Porsche. I don't know why they squeezed me quite as far to the outside. Made 2 bits of contact. I will go outside. Are we getting left room? Not quite. Just. Ooh. Help. Not sure what happened there. I think someone came from miles back as well. I'll try to go side by side with the BMW. They're going to back off a little bit. I think they could tell I was close. See how the Porsche feels as well. So far, it's actually feeling a little more like the Mustang in terms of character from the start than it did the Ferrari. I would expect it more from the Porsche. Look at that instability in the rear. I would expect this more from the Porsche, to be honest, given the layout of a Porsche 911. More so than the other two. Interesting to see the AI properly do a dive bomb. I will check the assist and stuff back in the main menus. Obviously, once I'm in a session, yeah, you can't change it. We'll let the car rotate under braking because I don't really need much steering input for that. Back on the throttle, watch out for oversteer, understeer here. Seems to be very understeery through that last corner. There's a track limits thing and I don't know what it is for the last corner. I keep on running over a track limit and I can't see where. Right, down the inside of an AI. Get that move done. Bumps throwing me around. That's the noise of oversteer. Right, let's have a go at this beamer then when it feels suitable. Dive bomb. Oh, he was being held up by another one, so I've just snuck down the inside, that's fine. So not a huge amount of natural sort of movement there. The beamer just happy to sit in that queue and let the car in front of him hold him up as I snuck down the inside. Fairly easy move down the inside of that one. I can just sort of let off the brake. Didn't hit me up the rear, which was nice. Didn't hook the rear of the car. Very skittish on the exit of those corners. Proper handful. Love the smoke effect from the barbecues. Outside of this, whoa, whoa. See the Ferrari there? Just slam on the brakes when I got close. That was strange. I mean, I am calling this so far like there's something still fundamentally weird about it. I've seen much worse. This is definitely not the worst race I've had on Assetto Corsa EVO, and it's certainly not the worst AI racing experience across other sims, right? And it's only a one race sample, so we'll try some more races in a minute. It's not the worst, but fundamentally there's still something weird. Like, it still doesn't feel like I'm having a, you know, a decent, authentic race. to a higher extent. Look at the rear coming around as I hit the brakes. There's still a little bit of like the kind of train thing going on, which you can understand. There's still a little bit of strange behavior, like that car slamming on the brakes when I got close. It's like certain positions activates a sort of safety measure where they back out, and of course it is kind of locked to safe at the moment, the AI behavior, so I wonder if it's something to do with that. It's still very much work in progress, let's say. Got more straight line than this Ferrari. Let's see if it goes defensive at all. If I look to the inside, no, just gonna let me have that, no bother. I'm also a bit concerned. I mean, I don't know about the performance really of these cars, but the Ferrari has a higher performance number than the Porsche. So in theory, you would think the Ferrari's, you know, if these cars aren't fully balanced yet, the Ferrari is, according to the game, a little bit quicker. But I'm racing on essentially 95 to 100% difficulty, and the cars towards the front are 100% in each of the sort of, so that like the Ferrari towards the front, for example, is 100% difficulty, and I've got up to 4th after 3 laps. So I still would like to see a more challenging, and I've done no practice, so I'd like to see a more challenging AI kind of optimum. Let's see what happens here. Okay, the Ferrari hit the brakes again in that corner, which has opened the door up for me. But of course, it totally depends on your speed level and experience level. This might be absolutely fine for you. Yeah, of course, why not drive multiplayer? Yeah, but that's not you know, a reason for the single player to not be as good, right? Like, yes, a lot of these sorts of things are about multiplayer racing. And multiplayer is, a lot of focus is put on multiplayer these days, as opposed to back in the day when single player was everything for these sorts of games. But still, you want to see good AI racing, so that, you know, for example, we didn't even have multiplayer racing at the start with EVO in early access, so you still wanted something to have a good race against, so it wasn't just a sort of hot lap simulator. We've got enough of those. But I mean, this isn't absolutely abysmal. Like, this is a race. I could have this race, and you know, I would get 5 laps of fun out of it, trying to make my way through the field. But let's see how the front two behave. I don't see any kind of big moves going on for the win. They're kind of following suit. Let me have it? Yeah, it's definitely let me have it. I've got loads of brakes to spare. Try something a bit different with this lead one. Try and move them around a little bit. Brian Walker, so let's see if they leave space. Just about, if I stay on the left. I'm not going to pass, so I could pass at this point quite comfortably, but I just want to kind of give it a bit of a test. Okay, squeeze back in front of me, fair enough. I'll stick to the inside here. I mean, that's not a sensible move, and they didn't really bother about it, so that's fine. This is the bit where they're weird. They kind of follow too sharp a trajectory through this double left-hander. Oh, and hit a brake when they don't need to. Like here, they slow down for this left just so you can commit to that corner a lot more, especially with 100% difficulty. See if the car behind goes for a move. See if I lift off a little bit. Let's see if they try and pass. Yeah, they've gone to the inside. Okay, fair enough. Didn't just wait behind me. Try to switch back. Ooh, locked up. Ooh, watch the wall. Far too many of those noises today. Right, last lap. Drive like a maniac, we'll try and send one. Yep, easy come back underneath. Yeah, there, interesting. So they actually didn't just jump out the way there. When I sent it in the inside, they were like, no, I'm having this. There's side-to-side contact, so there's still a bit of aggression, still a little bit of not jumping out the way in those situations at least. I was, obviously in real life, you'd be pretty rude for making moves in those spots in that sort of way. Maybe on the last lap for the win, it's the sort of thing that you would see in an aggressive battle, but you wouldn't want to be doing that move too many times, put it that way. They're looking a bit more natural in their behaviour as well. Definitely not as natural as other AI, but more natural than they have in the past. We'll try Brands Hatch next. In the GT4 Audi, maybe. Ooh. But my pace has dropped off by 3 seconds with this battle and just trying to have a battle. He's going to lift through here, hit the brakes. This is very, very easy. Whoa. There's the big rear snap. But it's actually savable. In a real car, if it got that, it shouldn't snap that hard, I wouldn't say. But then once it does snap, you should be gone. I doubt you would save that sort of snap in that way. FFB's pretty good. I've had mixed opinions on FFB in the past, but with these new cars and the settings I've got, now that I've kind of worked out the settings a little bit more with the SimuCube and I've got a better balance on stuff, the FFB is feeling pretty good. I have no issues with that. I have to avoid using the in-game modifiers on things like road field, for example. I'm avoiding them. I'm using modifiers from my software. This is horrible and glitchy. Too easy to win the race, of course, all things considered. Okay, the replay has calmed down now that we've actually selected it. Performance though, guys. That's one thing I totally forgot in the midst of all that. That was fine. I had like solid 50 to 60 FPS on the high preset, no big bits of lag, and in the past on the first lap with all these cars I've had lots of issues. We'll try wet as well at some point. Yeah. Hey, that wasn't as bad. That wasn't as bad. Obviously still a way to go, but we knew that was going to be the case. No one I don't think expected the AI to suddenly be perfect overnight, right? Yeah, FPS is looking more consistent, I would say, so far. That was a lot of cars on track, and I had no issues, so CPU optimization tick so far on all fronts, really. Which is what we want to see. Let's do Brands Hatch then. Let's do a race in the GT4, which we haven't driven yet, and then we'll do some rainy stuff. In fact, let's do a road car race first around Brands before we do the GT4. Let's do... Do I have to go in here? Yeah, custom grids. I want to pick a car first. Let's try the Ferrari out, the road car for Brands. Let's just do automatic grid this time. We'll keep it simple. 20 opponents. We'll just stick them all on like 98 to 100 because we want to know if they're fast enough to be difficult. We'll start in, yeah, sure, 15th. We'll start near the back. We'll see what happens. Apply the changes. That's fine. We will go to assist. So we've got... No, automatic clutch is off. So why automatic clutch on start? Why is it not letting me, with the clutch in, select first gear and rev the car on the start? That's got to be a glitch, right? That can't be right. I should be able to hold the clutch in, select first gear, and then do a clutch start. We'll see how it is with the H pattern. Hey, how's it going, ACEVO? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna say it. So far with this update, positive. Not perfect, but positive. Forward movement in good areas, important areas, with obvious work still to go. Looks like we've got Quattros, Countages, and 288 GTOs in this race. Let's see our performances, and then we'll try a wet race in the GT4s. Okay, it looks like the Audis are all turning left on the start, which is interesting. Oh no, they've fixed that. Okay, we can do a clutch start with the H pattern. Not the best start I've ever made. Right, we're gonna go inside. Get used to this Ferrari as well. That looks a bit more natural. They're too wide all the way up the hill. Pretty obviously, like, if you see these cars racing in real life, we're not going to be crammed this close together at the start of a race, because everyone's going to take damage and end up in the wall. But that's fine so far. Bit of a bump from me, couple of bumps from me. lock up. I'm sorry. That's my bad. Totally my fault. And I've lost the car. Oh. Saved it. Right, recovery needed. Got all the Countaches behind us. This is the other thing, I need to get used to the car, for example. So let's remember this 288 is not a GT3. Stay in third. Just picking our way through these Quattros. Now, of course, these cars are different speeds, so can't look too much into the difficulty when you're racing cars that aren't the same as you. It's road cars, so every car is unique. So let's try and catch the Ferraris, and then we'll get an idea. We're quite a long way back, though. 3 seconds behind the Ferraris. All right, I'm going to keep an eye on that. 3.3 behind Richard Parker, and 5.3 behind the rest of the field. I've obviously done no practice, so mistakes are absolutely there. Let's see if we can close that gap. Hey, Street Samurai, welcome. Down to third. Not quite getting apex at all. Need to really focus and drive better. But performance, once again, I say that and I've locked up and I've gone straight on. You know what? Let's just abandon ship and let's try again. I need to just remember I'm driving the 288 and it's not an easy car to drive. It's heavy, it's slow, it's not good in the brakes. Relative to race cars, of course. I'm being very picky. It's probably better than most of our road cars, let's be real. What was I going to say? Something. Oh yeah, performance. Opening lap, look, right, I'm 52 FPS right now, but it looks smooth. I'm not getting any of the kind of stuttering that I was getting before. 55 FPS, 54, I'm gonna just stick to the outside here. 56 FPS. Through the middle of these two. Ooh, okay. I mean, that was an ambitious move from me, to be fair. But yeah, performance is good. Try one more time. Performance is all good. That is an improvement, I'm going to say now, because that's multiple examples already. Multiple race starts, full grids, and it's all looking good. Rain will be the ultimate test, of course. Very much appreciated, Street Samurai Media. Thank you so much. Glad to have you here for the stream. I forgot to straighten out my steering. Right, focus this time. I'm actually going to treat this as a real race now, okay? Relatively. A real race where I'm fighting for a championship and I'm not paying for repairs, let's say. Oh, they're braking on the exit there. That's very uncomfortable. I need to get through these Audis. All the Ferraris at the front of the grid. Sneak down the inside towards Graham Hill. Big lockup. I'm sorry, Audi. Oh, now we're hooked. I can't get off. Thank you. If I were you, I'd be concerned that I just said I'm going to treat this like a real thing and then ended up in multiple collisions in the first 4 corners for the 3rd time in a row. Be concerned about my ability or my mental state. Ferrari sounds good. Let's get the brakes early. Carry the speed. Use a bit of throttle to steer the car. Not that much. I think the Audis are slow through here. Let's dive down the inside. Yeah, we're getting left room, look. That was alright. Heike left us a bit of space. We're now got to catch the Ferraris again, of course. Okay, don't overdrive this car. So easy to overdrive it. It's not... This is not a high-performance vehicle by modern standards. Beautiful, legendary vehicle. Sounds awesome, looks amazing. Would love to race it against all these other Ferraris, but wow, you've got to treat it with an awful lot of respect. Oh, did you hear the sound change there? Interesting. Becoming a really high, yeah. Right, on the brakes early, very early. For paddock kill, out to 2nd gear. Yes. It's better. 2.2 behind Craig. So the AI speed seems... I mean, I'm going to drive really trying at this point, and we'll see if we can close that gap, but speed seems actually more balanced on this combo, I would say. Countages are making their way through the Audis now as well. Oh. Bit of rear end locking. I was trying to get the cut back, but didn't quite get it in time. Come on. 2.3 seconds. It's kind of spot on pace-wise at the moment. Being honest. Third gear. In we go. On the throttle. Let the rear do the steering. That's too much, John. That's too much. Don't know what gear to be in this car. It feels the power range is just not there. It's all relative, but I'm so used to just having power ready to go in the right gear, but I feel like I'm halfway between second and third. The ratios are not well optimized, I think, and also they're just very long. .1 seconds to Craig, so we're absolutely matching the AI cars with their 98 to 100% difficulty. Oh no. 2 laps to go. 3 laps to go, actually. It was showing lap 3 out of 5, but that was the leaders. And also, I've not broken the gearbox once yet. The clutch actually seems to be functioning properly for me, which is not something, as you know if you've watched my streams, that's happened in the past in ACEVO. I always end up resorting to changing all the gearbox setups because for some reason everything goes wrong and the gearbox breaks or the clutch doesn't work and then it just all goes to pot. But H pattern on this and the Countach, not a single misshift, no issues. I'm not doing anything differently, honestly. Come on. Yeah, maybe it's easier for the eye without the bumps, that's true. It could also just be the car class thing, like maybe the road cars are a little bit easier to get the most out of compared to the GT racers. We try second, 3 or no, I think it's third. It's got to be third, it's just painful. Come on, use the throttle to get it steered. We're catching up with Craig. This is what we want now. Much more authentic race. Can we get past though? Slipstream, this is the corner where I'm rubbish, so I need to be a bit more cautious. Down to second this time. He's leaving us room. Sort of leaning, but not properly. Then he backs off a little bit because he was running out of space, so that's no complaints about that one from the AI. Okay, that lap was 2 seconds faster for me than the cars in front, so I'm getting the hang of it a little bit now. P9 secured. They've got different ratios, or they were in first gear. You could hear the car in front with a much higher number of RPM. .142.6 around Brands GP. It'd be really fun to see how this car performed against like modern, not even sports cars, but like how would it perform against, you know, a Fiat 500 Abarth, for example, or something like that. Or a Hyundai N, i30N or something. Ooh, they're pretty slow through that corner, and then braking, weirdly braking there. You see, that was strange behaviour. I don't know if you noticed, but the brake lights were on off on the exit, where you'd normally, it was almost as if they were stopping themselves losing traction. And where I'm on the throttle and pulling out of a corner, using the rear to steer the car, they're just kind of tentatively touching the brake pedal, and that means as a you know, for me, that's difficult to deal with because I don't know when the AI are braking and when they're not. It becomes unpredictable, and it means I'm going to run into the back of them. I think it's like a kind of control thing that they're doing just to keep themselves on the straight and narrow. That was a bit buzzy. Sorry, engine. Steep down the inside. Once again, you can see the Ferrari just slowing down a little bit on the exit of that one, maybe losing a bit of traction. 43's up ahead, 42.6 for me. Finally getting the hang of this car around this track. Staying in second. In we go. Bit of throttle. So now that I'm getting closer to the limits on the default setup, you can see I'm very marginally quicker than the AI, but it's much more representative of like a natural speed. Still with some weirdness, still with some strange sort of behavior, with tapping the brakes in places where they shouldn't be and all this stuff, but generally speaking, with the performance improvements, the behavior just looks a little bit less extreme. I've had some more civilized changes of position, and then it becomes nitpicking about styles rather than having a just outright terrible, you know, non-approachable race. Right, what can we do with this one? I guess we're not going to get left room, but we are getting left a little bit of room on the outside. The Ferrari didn't quite know what to do with it. You can see him getting a bit of a twitch on and then had to give me the room. That's probably a reflection on the AI behavior being stuck at safe, I would say. There we go, P6. Okay. I'm calling it progress. Calling it progress. This is really annoying that the replay plays in the background but is laggy. I don't like that. I wish they could... Ah, it calms down, okay, a little bit. But still... I wish it was smooth in the background, or just maybe starting with an onboard by default or something to try and make it smooth. We're not going to watch the first lap again. That's really embarrassing. I just want to see some of the strange behavior. Yeah, so is that braking there? Like, why is that? That's the one thing I would say. Watch the brake lights in the blue car. So brake there, that's fair enough. Here, I get it, look, double brake and then there. Why is it braking there? Because it's running too close to the curb, maybe? Not sure. But improvements. Hey BPM, welcome. Welcome, welcome. What is the time in Queensland right now? It must be... Ooh, midnight in Australia? Something like that? You guys are way apart from us. I'm getting much more in tune with my Australian time zones thanks to the Supercar series. I'm basically too excited about it now where I can't wait till the morning to watch stuff. And if it's still on for like 1 in the morning for us, I'm watching the races, I'm watching the practice, I'm watching quali. So I'm totally in tune, more in tune with the Australian time zones, but it's more by guesses based on how far in the day you are during the race. 10:22, that's not so bad. Not so bad at all. Oh, more people from Australia as well. Awesome. Welcome, ACEVO. Definitely not right. Lucas watching from Italy. Hey, you guys are watching from all over. This is awesome. Okay, so we've done a couple of AI races. Let's try one more thing, which is the wet. First go in the GT4. It'll be the I think this will mark the last car, because we've driven the Ferrari and the Lambo, we've driven the 3 GT. Yeah, that's it. Then the last new car is the Audi, and then we're going to do some online racing. And we're going to test the new multiplayer stuff. Assuming we can, at least. So, Audi. Norway for Terj, of course. Hey, Peter, welcome. It's a more positive stream than previously, Peter. I'm going to say that. I'm a big fan of... I'm a massive fan of Assetto Corsa as a franchise. I'm a massive fan of Cuno Simulazione. I have a huge amount of belief in the individuals and the team and what they're capable of doing, but I've been disappointed. Maybe part of that is my expectation, but I have been disappointed overall with some of the issues with EVO over these updates, and I still think it would be nice to have a, you know, I wish we were in a better place now, this far after early access. However, very good signs, positivity moving forward. AI is clearly, based on that, moving in the right direction, still with work to do. Performance seems much more smooth and consistent. I've not had any performance issues so far, which I had before. My controls seem to be working better. The game seems to be functioning in a cleaner way. I did have a couple of game crashes at the start of the stream, and I have no idea what that was all about, and if it was related to the stream, what it was, but it's not happened before. Other than when I play Assetto Corsa EVO, I have some strange things happening on that front. I don't really have many game crashes that I can remember when I'm not streaming, so that's just something that I need to work out. But other than that, positive. Let's race GT4s around... What don't we rate? We've not really done an Oulton AI race in this game. Yeah. GT4s at Oulton sounds fun. International? Yeah, let's do it. And for this one, we are going to go with starting in the middle of the pack. Stick to 98 to 100. Let's make it 99 to 100. Do we have... What GT4 cars do we have? Let's try and generate something. So yeah, someone asked about the opponent behavior. Is there a normal setting for aggression CPT? Right now there isn't. No, we've got opponent behavior and it's locked to safe. That's not been unlocked yet, probably because they're having issues with optimizing the AI. So hopefully that's something in future, once the AI is in a better place, that we'll be able to do. We're getting some votes for Imola, Red Bull. GT4 and Imola would be good, Luca. Since you've asked for it, we'll do that. I do love a bit of Oulton Park though, I gotta say. Road, modern. I just want to get GT4s only. So, can we? I don't know if this is how it works. If it's like a number where it's 14 to 16 just means GT4. No eligible vehicles. Oh, I need to do this, don't I? Yeah, that's not what I want. You know what? Balance grid. Is this just a range of like? If I do that, is it just cars of the same? Or is that the number? Like if I do 20 to 100, is that going to generate F1 cars? Ah, also I'm an idiot. I had road cars selected. Yeah, okay. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Let's go 14 to 16 or 17 race cars. ICE. There we go. That's more like it. Any other GT4s? We got the Porsche Cayman? Yeah. Perfect. That's what we want. Can we balance the grid? Oh, you can do balance of performance. Cool. That's fine with me. Can I go back to the... I want to change the order though. I mean, obviously we can do it manually. We need to see how they behave in amongst, you know, not just the same cars, if that makes sense. So let's just move some Porsches forward to the front. This is all a little bit clunky. Can I drag them? No. No. I want a shuffle grid. That would be nice. Alright, Porsche, Audi. Sorry guys, this is going to take just a minute. I want to try and test this properly. I don't want a big train of the same car, because I think that's going to affect how the AI... I want them to be able to have different characteristics affecting things. Okay, Porsche, Audi, Audi, Porsche. This is the entertainment you signed up for when you clicked on the stream, I'm afraid. Right, Brandon, get up there. Get up to the front. Go on. There might be a better way of doing this. Almost there. In you go. In you go. That'll do. Apply. We were going to make it rain as well. Almost forgot about the rain, which is literally the whole point of doing this. Let's start then at like 9 AM, 9:05, that's fine. We're going to stick to 5 laps, starting from 10th. Nah, starting from 12th. That works. And let's go for rain. Dynamic rain. Let's go dynamic rain. Yes, I'm so sorry. I've just seen the comments coming in telling me to pay attention and select race cars, not road cars. Oh dear. All right. Nah, we're gonna stick to Oulton. I know we've had a comment for Imola. I would love to do Imola. I'm doing Oulton because it's gonna rain and that's gonna be authentic, and I love it. I will keep you updated with the FPS because obviously rain is gonna normally tank us a little bit here. So fingers crossed, it's still positive. Right, can we do... We've checked all the settings now, so we should be able to select first gear and do a clutch start. That's just the reality. So clutch is in. First gear. No. I don't like that. Why is it doing that? I haven't asked it to do that. Just also means we're going to be very uncertain in online races about what we can do off the line. So instead I've got to rev it in neutral, bang it into first, and it's just not a good start. Right, 50 FPS, 49 FPS, 47 FPS, 46 FPS. Audi sounds fantastic. Still about 50 FPS. On high graphics preset as well. The specs for the PC are in the description if you're interested. But it's all looking a lot smoother, I would say still. 50 is not perfect, of course. I'd rather it was 60, but the reality is it's fine. It's manageable. Understeer in the rain, of course. Ooh, big snap. I think the graphics are looking a little tidier in the wet as well. The wet weather graphics have always been pretty cool in this game, but I think the smoothness helps the whole thing look a bit nicer. Maybe it's because normally I turn the graphics down for the wet, so maybe that's what I'm noticing. Oh, hello. AI's behaved itself a little bit. Still some strangenesses, of course. I'm also... Right, I need to watch the replay of the exit of that chicane, because I don't know if you noticed, but on the radar in the middle of the screen, I was actually merged with the other car. So I need to check that. Are we actually merged, or is that just the radar playing up? Because that's not normal. And I've seen that a few times, and I forgot to comment on it and check it. Understeer on the wet, on the curb, not what you want. Ooh, I looked at the comments at a terrible moment. I think, in terms of how the game drives as a whole, even with physics changes, unless they are absolutely major, and I haven't perceived any major changes in feel, and of course I've been driving new cars, so that doesn't help in terms of comparison, but I don't think you're going to perceive anything major. The feeling was already pretty good, it's just tweaks and refinements. But of course, some more suspension work's never a bad thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't easily perceive a big jump, if that makes sense. It's all relative in terms of optimization, though. Like, yes, I have a ridiculously good graphics card. CPU's a little bit old now, but it's a very good. It was a very. It's got a lot of cores. Put it that way. It was a good CPU, but it's a bit dated, so it's more of a bottleneck than the GPU, of course. And I've got unlimited RAM essentially, which is wild. But yeah, obviously you don't want to be running below 60 with that graphics card, but the reality is in a lot of games when you're running against lots of AI or in the wet, that's just the way it is. There's a wall here. Yeah, I was going to say there's a wall there in real life. Okay, I mean, honestly, that's enough for what we needed to find out. What I need to know now is, did we merge? Did we merge? Because that would be a shame. Let's go chase cam to find out. Okay, so we're looking at my rear panel. I think on the Audi that I'm about to overtake, because they slowed right down on the apex there. So the Audi's kind of, I think the Audi backs off on the curb in the wet, probably doesn't want to lose traction, turns to the right to avoid me. Is there a merge? No. I think it's okay. No, it backed off. Okay, no merging. That's fine. On the radar, it looked like we were merging, but I guess it's just the little symbols of the cars are slightly bigger than the cars themselves. I mean, that is... You could argue that that is a merge here. Yeah, slightly, but you could also say the splitter's going underneath. But yeah, it's a tiny, tiny bit, but nothing crazy. I think it's okay. We'll definitely be okay with that. So there you go. The cars are dry. I hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't even thought about it. Sorry, Alexander, I need to read your... Oh, so wet still isn't wet. No, it is. I mean, it is definitely lower on grip. For sure. I hadn't thought about it on slicks, though, being... Hang on. Let's just test what you're talking about. If I jump onto slicks, I should be completely... This should be impossible, so let's just see. I think the other comment there that's worth looking at was... Oh, so, yeah, sorry, the RAM stuff. Yeah, Guido FOC 7057, the specs for the PC are in the description. The reason the reason I have so much RAM is not because I feel like I need that much RAM for sim racing. It's complete overkill. The reason for the RAM is I bought this PC as a PC that was essentially a used broadcast PC. So it's an Alienware box, and it's not very easily customizable. But basically, the PC had tons of RAM because of its use as a broadcast PC. Obviously, it's become now a gaming PC for me, so the RAM is total overkill, but it has it anyway. So it's a complete waste, honestly. It's you know, in a market where RAM is very valuable, it's just sitting there and not really being used. You might have been asking about the RAM usage of the game, though. Yeah, that's true. I was on slicks, was I? I was on slicks. I hadn't even spotted. I hadn't even spotted. It says when you. It says when you're in the car, doesn't it? So, tire compound. I was on slicks. I had not noticed. Interesting. Sorry, guys. You're telling me how to. You're telling me what to look for there, but I had not noticed. So yeah, I'm gonna do this again. That is definitely not slicks. You're right. Or not how it should be on slicks. So rain potentially is still... Yeah, no way I would get off the line like that. Absolutely no way. TC would be kicking in loads. Yeah, no way I could have that much grip. Look at that. Absolutely no way. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out, guys. Let's try wets then and see what difference it makes. It is definitely wet enough where it should make a big difference, right? That's the reality of it. I've driven enough in the wet. Having raced in the UK for a decade, I've done enough running in the wet to know that slicks in this weather, it does not work, and wets feel vastly different. So let's just restart the race, and then I will make sure I'm on the wets again there. Wets. Cool. Can I still go steaming around the outside of a couple of cars in turn one? Yeah, but maybe it works properly, the wets, but obviously the slicks aren't working as they should. They're too grippy. Pretty bad start, but that could be down to me. That just feels the same, honestly. 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide. Nope. Doesn't feel worse, that's for sure. Straight away, I've got grip. Nope, 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 nope. You can see the merging again there on the boxes. I will check that on the replay again, just to make sure. But yeah, look, this is not worse, definitely. If anything, it is actually slightly better, but I don't think it is. Outside. On the curb, no grip. Gotta move on. Coming through. British touring cars. Yeah, so basically not much to report other than I hadn't realised that I was on slicks previously, and they basically give me as much grip as wet tyre on a wet road. So yeah, placeholder sounds about right. But clearly less grip than the dry, right? So it's still something. I'm getting a check tire warning. Have I got a puncture? Or are they just overheating because they're wet? Fair. Okay. Racing's actually, again, racing against the AI there is not the worst. They're obviously not great through the kind of tighter sections like the chicanes, but that's normal for AI in racing games on the first lap in a tight chicane like that when they're not quite fast enough, and it's just not, you know. And it's also realistic to a degree. Like in a real race, you're not sending it as much in those situations unless you're absolutely gunning for something and you're in the zone and everything's perfect and you know exactly what the car's doing. Like I've driven like that from the back of a field when I've not qualified or I should be much further up and you're against much slower cars, then you have the confidence sometimes to just duck and dive and go. But if you're in with similar sort of cars, generally speaking, you do form a bit of a queue through the slow corners in the early laps because everyone's just jostling for space, and obviously the way that, same as traffic flow, the way that it works is you condense up at the front and then everyone has to back off. No one can go at their normal speed. And yeah, you get like people going 3 or 4 wide and trying to make space and everything concertinas. So that was fine, honestly. Absolutely fine. I'm not going to say it was great. Same with obviously the wet stuff there. The physics actually felt pretty all right in the wet, but the tire thing doesn't make any sense. And I don't like the fact that I can't do a normal clutch start, but there we go. Should we do some online racing? Yeah, no worries. Sorry I didn't notice that earlier. I'm afraid I cannot... I'm not running SimHub at the moment, and I'm not going to do that right now, but it looks like there needs to be an update. It's not working, based on what you guys are all saying. So we'll take that as the case at the moment. Okay. Let's see what's going on if we go multiplayer then. There have been changes to how the multiplayer systems work in terms of server creation through Steam, for example. Now, if we go server list, we're just going to take a wee click through these. And now, in the past, when I've done this, it has sometimes completely crashed the game. We do have our private servers here, and I think maybe there's open lobbies in there. There's obviously, I think some of the daily stuff might be in the server list as well. Loads and loads of servers, most of them empty, but some busy. Like 30 people in a Sebring server right now. Special events. I mean, special feels like a strong word. Here's our special events at the moment. Very special. Anyway, moving on. Daily Racing Portal. So this takes me to a website. Hopefully I haven't frozen for you guys. I just need to log in, so bear with me. Oh, nice. I'll do the daily race at Sebring. Is it GT3? Yeah, GT3 Sprint Cup. Sebring International, upcoming race 150. Perfect. Let's get signed up for that. I'm going to take a risk and show you guys this process. I probably, actually, you know what, I won't, because it might give away passwords and stuff, and that wouldn't be fair to do that. So I am going to urge you, if you want to take part, go on the Daily Racing Portal through the game. It'll take you to the website. You can sign in. You can register. We're going to do a Sebring GT3 race. What car should we go in? Let's go in the Mustang, because I did a few laps in the Mustang. I agree to be respectful. Register. Alright. I'm registered. And then I need to make sure I turn up to my session on time. Okay, in 5 minutes I should get details for the server. I'm going to have to close the game to do that. So, tell you what, I'm actually going to take a very quick break, go for a little quick pee, then I'll come back, we'll have a chat, and then I will, I'll join the race session. So what I'm going to do is close the game for now. And I will be back in just a moment. See you in a sec. Right. Now, this has gone wrong in the past, as you guys may well know, when I have tried to join a ranked daily race when I'm still in the game, right? And it's crashed everything, the stream's gone wonky, everything's exploded. It's happened multiple times. So I'm trying to do it properly. I'm following instruction. I'm quitting the game so that then I can launch the game with the race that starts, the session that starts in 2 minutes and 15 seconds from now. And in fact, I can probably show you this screen, to be honest. I don't see any issue with that. So you can see that I am logged in. You've got thank you for registering. Race starts in 2 minutes. We've got the info, 2-minute practice, 5-minute quali, and 20-minute race. Cloudy, variable conditions, no stops. We're in the Mustang. I think you can be in any GT3 car, and you've got information about how to join, which you can copy. So that's all fine. I guess we're going to see how it feels. No need to quit the game. I mean, you might be right. You shouldn't need to quit the game, but I've had problems I've been bitten in the past. I've been bitten in the past, Guido, so that's why I'm being careful. So I appreciate that I don't need to quit the game, but I'm going to do this way for now, just to see. And then we should be okay. I mean, to be fair, it does say copy the details, open the server. So actually, you're absolutely right. You're not actually launching the game through here, right? You're just doing it. So there's no benefit. I don't see any difference in me doing it this way. I don't know why it's gone wrong in the past. Maybe we will just launch the game, because all we're doing is copying some info over. And if it crashes, we can reboot it, right? So that's fine. Let's do it. Okay. That makes sense. I was confused, because in my head, there was a thing where you launch the game through the server. And I think I'm just misremembering it, because it was, or not misremembering it, but I'm forgetting that that's no longer the case. So that's all good. Thank you for that. $1KS or Onyx, not sure, 489. I dread online racing. That is why it's important that games look after single-player experiences, right? Because not everyone likes online racing, and that's a totally fair thing, because your actions have a direct impact on other people, and sometimes you just want to race at your own time, at your own pace, be able to pause it, not worry about crashing into folk. It's totally fine to not like online racing, and that's why developers need to look after everyone on that front. But hey, good signs. AI improving. Not nearly as kind of, let's be brutal and say laughable as it was at times in the past. Right, we're almost there. Let's see. Details. So I can now copy my details. I'm going to fire into the game. Hang on. Should have read it more carefully. There's the password that's there, so it should be coming up here. Where do I put this? Hang on. I'm working this out as I go along, guys. I've copied the details, open the server list, click the paste button in the top right corner in the server list. Okay, that's what I was trying to do at the start, but it wouldn't let me. Unless it's this. Nope. Try that again. Copy details, which you're not seeing. My instructions are, launch the game, open the server list via Drive Multiplayer Server List, click the paste button in the top right on the server list, select the car, and click join button. So this should work. I know I'm not in an Audi. I'm obviously, that shouldn't make a difference though, right? Because I should be able to select the car after. Am I doing something wrong, Guido? Or is the server just not up yet? Yeah, I think something's wrong. Ah, okay. Try adding a space after join. As in, like here. Hang on. Let me try something else. Let me try something else. I did the space in the wrong place, I think, as well. I've not seen the comments, but hang on. I was meant to do it after the colon. Let's try this. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, it should be working. I've definitely copied the details. Let's see if I can manually find it. If that's a way we can do it. Yeah, I can probably just manually find it, guys. Bear with in case I have to show passwords, etc. Oh, hang on. Oh, we've crashed. Does that mean the game's going to crash? Yeah. Yeah, the game always crashes when that happens. Right, relaunching the game. It's always a messy process, this, and it should be so simple. It should be so simple. Okay, I'm just rebooting the game, guys. Apologies. I'm going to try it again. And if not, I'm going to enter it manually, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I can search for the race number, exactly. That's what my next protocol was going to be, but then the game crashed. Come on. Multiplayer. Let me in! Thank you. What split am I in, though? Tell me what split I'm in. Yeah, split one. Alright. Come on. Yay! Manual searching worked. The copied link, event link doesn't. So if you're listening, Kunos, maybe it's a me thing. I don't know. But the copy details thing was not working. So I think we're probably going to miss practice. Maybe we'll be in quali. Maybe it'll be the race. I don't know. Yeah, I know, Trev. I know. It's basically I have all that started, and then of course the game updates, and I have a preview build, which then undoes all my settings, and then I can't get them back, and it's all I'm just constantly changing it. 2 minutes of qualifying, right? Quick. If I get on with this, I can get one lap in the qualifying. If they let us finish the lap we're on. Alright, got to stay all the way to the outside, out the pit lane. Nope, lap invalidated. I honestly do not know how to exit this pit lane without invalidating a lap. Maybe it's just invalidated. Maybe that's not meant. Maybe that's what's meant to happen. Maybe it invalidates it so that you can't set a lap time by coming out the pits. I don't know. Based on our little testing, though, when I drove the Mustang for a few laps earlier, I think I was doing like 203s. Maybe I did a 202, high 202. But when I drove the Porsche Rennsport Edition car in the AI race, even with the AI battles and stuff, I think I was doing like low 202s. I did a low 202 at some point. So I'm going to hazard a guess that unless there's some kind of balancing that's been done in the daily portal racing, I think that Porsche Rennsport might be quicker around here. But we are not going to think about that. We're just going to go out there and see what we can do. It's a 12-car field. Performance is silky smooth at the moment. Got to get the heat in the tyres because the rear end is very alive before we get heat in. And we're using the car sort of locking the rears a little bit to get the rotation as well. past this Beamer before a lap. Nope. Are we going to get past the Beamer? I want some clean running, so if I don't get past it, I'm going to have to back off. We'll take the back off approach. I've got loads of room behind me. I actually am enjoying the, as I said earlier, I'm enjoying the aggressiveness of the Mustang, even though it feels a little too aggressive, I could argue. Right, car coming up behind, second, so we've got to go for it. Make sure we get a valid lap in here. Oh my goodness, so oversteery. Sounds awesome though, sounds amazing. Right, can we finish the lap we start? We're going to do a little bit of time left on the table here, of course, because we're just getting one attempt, so I just want to set a valid lap, not necessarily a pole lap. We are going to get to finish our last lap, of course. I haven't reassigned buttons for the HUD yet either to cycle through the different HUD things, so we're just going to stick with the default. It's a sprint race anyway, so it should be absolutely fine. Default everything, we've not touched fuel, just literally arrive and drive, jump in the car, and hope that it's fine. This is the easiest way to go daily racing anyway, even if it's not necessarily the best way to get absolute optimum results. Is that a good on rails, Alexander, or a bad on rails? Like, is it on? Are the rails too grippy, or are we just happy to have a bit more control back? And there's different answers to that. It could be one's more enjoyable, one's more authentic. Who knows? I'm gonna guess pole's gonna be out of reach. Split 1 GT3s, Sebring. But if we can get maybe crack a top 5 on this lap, I'd be very happy. No idea where the pace is, no idea if the balancing's good with the cars. Other than what we experienced earlier in single player. That's a 202.2, we're up to P3. Okay, so I did go faster this than I did earlier in testing. So maybe my comment about the Porsche being faster is not actually that relevant, I don't know. But I felt like I did a 202 in the race. 20-minute race then. We're going to let this all change over. We've not got long, guys, so I'm going to try and read the comments, but I don't want to miss the start of the race here. We're going to test the netcode and collisions here, winner DTD. Hopefully we're not going to test them, if you know what I mean, but what I'm saying is we're going to do a race. I think 30 is going to be enough. It's the default number. Let's just assume it's fine. If it puts us with not enough fuel to finish the race, I'm going to say that's not great on the game. So we're going fully default setup, 4th on the grid, 3 Ferraris ahead of me. Can't trust the being in first gear before the race, which is annoying. We're just going to see if we run out of fuel. I think 30 is pretty ambitious for a 20-minute race, but we'll see. Gonna have to just start in neutral. I'm not risking a jump start. Alright, let's see how collisions and netcode is if we end up in a collision, which we will try not to. Right. 5th behind all the Ferraris, so top 4 at the moment. We're flying the flag for the big blue oval. Car off in front. Leave some room. It's P4. Now all of these cars, of course, were faster in qualifying, and my quali lap, even though it was a banker, wasn't that bad. So everyone should have decent pace at the front of this. First gear, maybe? Too low? Yeah, second's fine. Right, we're going to have to go on the defense straight away here. Oh, he's going around the outside. I'm going to leave room. I can see him on the radar. Can't see him in person. Fair play. Okay. Great move. Great move from Castellano. No complaints. Just really, really nice switchback. Hopefully this starts a battle that will ensue. I feel like I've raced against Castellano before on Assetto Corsa EVO. That's the rear instability under braking of the Mustang coming in. Ferrari was a lot more stable when I drove out of Watkins. Maybe we should have jumped in the Ferrari just to see if it was the same at Sebring. We've got Jerry in the other Ford behind me. But I mean, obviously I couldn't quite see Enzo Castellano there as he went around the outside of me. I just saw him on the radar, so left the room. So it's hard to know what netcode and stuff was good or bad, but I mean, it worked, right? Whatever we tried to do based on the radar, we didn't touch. Oh, too hot in there. So easy. Oh, the Ferraris are getting away. I'm using the fully default game, no sim hub. Ferrari's around 2 seconds quicker. Well, that's not right. I know the performance indicator suggests that the Ferrari's quicker, but we need better balancing if we're going to have GT3 daily racing if there's a 2-second deficit. I'll do my best. See if we can get a 201. I might run out of fuel as well. I decided to leave it on default. I want to know if the default fuel is deliberate, if it's enough to do a 20-minute race, or if it forces the user to actually check and add fuel. Because that would be... I'd understand if the user had to take out fuel, but it would be a real shame if the user had to add fuel for a daily race. Add no pit stops, of course. But we'll see. The Mustang is just so, like, leery. Great fun to drive. Really, really good fun to drive. And I'm getting quite comfortable with it. It's just that instability under braking, you know? I think I've got more straight line, maybe? Okay, the Ferrari getting a bit of a rear end wiggle there. See that we once again on braking it steps out. Like, touch the brake pedal, boom, I'm having to turn out of the corner. There again, see, fishtailing to the right, then back to the left. It's like a rally car. Let's try moving the bias slightly further forward. Which is what we did in the test. Right, 2 clicks forward. Might not make it as fast. I did a 2:14 though in that first race lap. So speed is okay. No, I don't like the brake bias. We'll just deal with it. I need one of you watching the stream to come in a race with me so that we can deliberately crash into each other and see how the netcode is. Because I'm not taking out a test by crashing into someone I don't know that's just trying to have a good race. I mean, that would not be very good etiquette. But I mean, naturally, incidents, of course, contact will happen. And if I can just hang on against Castellano here, I feel like I've got the pace to keep the pressure on. Yeah, 100%. I am going to run out of fuel, aren't I? The atmosphere is phenomenal, and Sebring specifically. The roadside furniture and the people and the smoke and the RVs, it's awesome. I should have looked, I wasn't looking. Where are we for fuel? 20 litres of fuel and we've done 7 minutes. We're a third of the way. Yeah, it's going to be tight. If we run out, we run out. I shouldn't look away at the chat or somewhere else when I'm going through the last corner, which is fully loaded. It's really not a sensible idea. Let's just drift it in here. Come on, I want to catch up. I want to catch up. P3's actually not that far away there, so maybe the P3 and P4 will battle. Alessandro Bello, I'm going to go with. And Castellano. Yeah, we're probably going to run out of fuel. I'll lift and coast towards the end if we need to. I don't care about the result, I care about having a good race, so we're going to not do that yet because we've got a massive gap behind. Absolutely horrible when you ride that curve. That's authentic though. Dropping the wheel on the other side, you can see the Ferrari in front of me do exactly the same. We both dropped our left front over that curb, and you could just feel the car riding along the underbelly of it, scraping on the curb. You lose all of your steering ability. That was nicely done, as was the curb effect there. Actually painful and uncomfortable and suboptimal, and that's probably on those curbs. You know, it's not necessarily like that in all sims. It's difficult to know how that specific curb behaves in real life, but it felt, you know, it affected the car in a way that you would expect it to, based on its profile and everything like that, you know? Oh, those Ferraris are getting away. I'm trying my best. How is that a track limit? I don't understand. Do not understand. There we go. Use the rear to turn it rather than trying to steer out of the corner. I'm just letting the rear do the turning for me. Same again here. Brake pedal is doing the steering, not the steering wheel. Come on. We're right there, half a second. Oh, I looked at the comments at a bad moment. Come on. Every time I turn in there, I just get this massive slide if I'm on full throttle. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Move done. Now you probably can come back at me. That was legal. Managing to do 201s, but I'm basically driving. I'm giving out everything to get those 201s at the moment. Thank you, rear. Throttle to stop me understeering as well. It's like drifting into the corners. It's not very natural, I'll be honest. It's like a GR86. 8 minutes, yeah, 11.1 litres left with 8.5 minutes to go. It's looking like lifting coast is going to be needed here. So that's going to bring us back towards Enzo behind us. Horrible through there, trying to not run as wide this time and actually went too early. Everything looks quite normal though. I'd say another thing I'm going to observe is when I was following Enzo, the car behaviour, the car movement, everything like that looked really smooth. Like no, there was no issues there in terms of, you know, looking unnatural and gliding across the road or anything. Not that I perceived anyway. It looked very natural. It looked like I'm watching another AI car, for instance. I can check the replay as well after. This is my low fuel warning light on. Still got 8 minutes to go. And we're down to 9.3. Yeah, definitely not enough fuel. So we're going to lift and coast, and we'll see if we can battle Enzo while lifting and coasting. Actually, we'll let him have this one, if he wants to. So we test the net code. Try and come back underneath. Squeeze out wide. Try and be careful to test this and run him close, but not actually cause him any issues, you know? I'm going to have to lift all the way into this hairpin. It's going to be a big coast. Try and save the fuel. Right, we're off now. Back on a tiny bit. We'll let him go. Curb. Try not to lose that slipstream. Yeah, the Ferrari feels much safer. It feels more what you'd expect, I'll be honest, from a default setup. The Mustang feels like it's been set up to be ultra aggressive. I'm just going to take the cut there. Any penalty for that? Yeah. Wow. Clear. Apparently I didn't gain from that. Interesting. That's not quite right, I would say. Felt like I definitely gained at least something. We're just going to have to do the big coasts. We're not going to make it to the end, if not. We got a little bit of a battle there with Enzo, and I've got nothing negative to report, honestly. Nothing negative. Ooh, felt natural. Car looked natural. We raced each other properly. We had some side-by-side. We didn't crash. 5.6 litres of fuel. See if we can finish 5th with our fuel that we've got, with 5 minutes still to go. Sorry, we're using no fuel all the way in. We're gonna coast. It's not gonna be enough, is it? Still got 2 laps to go. Let's see how much fuel we use in the lap though, because I mean even in this back straight we're using like 0.3. So much fuel. Can we get 2 laps out of 3.35? I could obviously pit. That's just a back marker. So, Murphinator thinks the Mustang's a bit of a dog. In real life, that is. Oh, it might be possible to get to the end here, you know. It might just be possible if the next lap's the last lap. Can't remember how much fuel we had at the start of this one. Just gonna cut the track a bit here. Make it a shorter run. And hopefully we're not penalised because we were so slow. No gains. Bit cheeky. 3.3, oh no, okay. We need to use less. No! We need to use less fuel and I feel like I used none. Ah, it's not gonna happen. We're committed now anyway. No, we're gonna run out. I can't do it, it's not gonna happen. Literally impossible. Can you actually get fuel? This is my first refueling stop, I think, in Assetto Corsa EVO. So that's one negative I'm going to flag. In a 20-minute GT3 sprint race, why is the default fuel too low? It feels like a 20-minute race. Surely the default should be high enough. You should be able to bring it down. I'm actually in the pit stop. There we go. 30 seconds, because I don't have the menus assigned. Anyway, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have, Guido, the buttons assigned, because it all reset itself with this update for me, so we just went for it with the stream. I wasn't expecting pit stops, put it that way. Oh, you can click with the mouse, okay. Oh, well, too late. Oh, yeah. I need to use my ACEVO engineer, Guido. You know, that is someone who is playing ACEVO regularly in between all these updates. Can we get out the pit lane without an invalid lap, though? Oh, drive-through, nice. Went too early. We're 30 seconds behind anyway, so no matter what we did, we wouldn't have been able to save any positions, even if the pit stop was immediate. Yeah. So that's the laps. Excellent. Okay, so your 2.5 is per lap, yeah. But obviously what we were doing there was, when I was massively fuel saving, that would have been messing up all the numbers as well. We'll take a little drive through as we cross the line to finish this race. it looks awesome, doesn't it? Hey, NY Vice, welcome. This is the best looking Sebring in terms of atmosphere and trackside stuff I've ever seen. Best looking Sebring I've ever seen in a game. Still to be convinced by the feeling overall, the curbs, like, and maybe it's biased towards what I know. Maybe it's unfair to say this is, because it's not as pleasant as LMU and iRacing, maybe because I'm not used to it in terms of how the curbs feel. It's not fair of me to be judgy because it might be that this is actually more accurate. I do not know, honestly. So it's, I refrain from judging it, but what I would say is the curbs and the track limits and stuff feel a bit strange and alien to me. I need to get used to them, and possibly not as nice when it comes to the curbs. But not necessarily less authentic, and it looks amazing, and I'm very impressed. I love the animation with the flags and the RVs and the smoke and all this stuff, which is a kind of kudos trait at this point. Anyway, we finished the race. Should have been top 5, but it wasn't. Hey-ho. It is... Ooh, I think I might not... Let's see if there's a really short race. I'm going to have to go very soon, guys, because I've got lots of video work to get on with for hopefully a traction video that's coming this week. Very excited to share that with you guys. So do make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. However, I might miss it if I don't wrap things up soon, because this was a bit of a surprise this week. But I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Let's see if there are any other races that we can enter real quick before we wrap things up. Let's go for the daily racing portal. We can, of course, enter a kind of public session. Oh, there's a Nordschleife 3-lap race. That's going to take too long. There is a GR Academy race, classic, Nurburgring sprint. Could we do that one? Maybe we do that one. Because then if I'm doing a GR86 race, maybe we can test the netcode and stuff once again, because we're going to be in a big battle. Nurburgring sprint course as well. I think I really want to continue to test the netcode and stuff. I think it's not fair to judge it all on one race, which was positive, very positive, let me just say that. So I think I'm going to sign up for the next GR Academy race. I would like to see like a Countach and Ferrari online race in this daily portal. I can also, just to be fair, I can check out public servers, see if there's anything. Look at this, 32 people in that server. Brazilian community, 32 people in the server, 24 in this Sebring race. That one's got 24 people, that might be one to join. Should we do that instead? Yeah, let's do this. We don't have to do the whole race because it's a kind of public server, but let's do this. Let's drive the Ferrari then and we'll see what the difference is. Let's just abandon the original plan. See if this crashes the game. Right, we're withdrawing from the GR race. I'm just going to jump in this one. It's in qualifying. There's loads of cars in the field. I might not qualify. Start from the back, and we'll just see. We will just see how we get on. Still 7 minutes of qualifying left. Oh, and Enzo's here as well, look. But lots more cars. So let's actually, I mean, for qualifying, we don't need fuel. Let's just leave it. It should be 30. It was 30 in the last car. So let's see how the Ferrari compares around Sebring then. Let's see if the pace is better, or worse, or the same. And let's see how the game performs with this many AI cars. Yeah, we'll try and beat Enzo. Very friendly nemesis. Can I just say, credit where credit's due, like when I have a great race, because I also have races where I make contact, or where the person I'm racing makes contact. That was fantastic. Every time me and Enzo battled there, a couple of times, we swapped places. It was totally clean. It was exciting. We were side by side, you know, forcing each other wide and everything, but at the same time leaving enough room for it to be fair. I need to assign a look back button, honestly. But let's see how this Ferrari is. So it's a lot more stable under braking. We established that at Watkins. I'm going to assign some look left, look right, and look back buttons after this. grips up through there, no bother, turns in really nicely. The graphic settings are, do you mean like, oh sorry, when you say what's your profile graphic, I'm not sure what you mean by that actually. I wasn't sure if you meant like an avatar for a profile, or if you meant like a graphics profile, like settings. Yeah, the Ferrari is more stable. Like under braking, it's much more stable. Even at Sebring, I wasn't sure if it was going to be track specific, but it just feels a bit faster, honestly. We'll see what we can do in qualifying. 30 people in the server. It's going to be a good test. Hello, Hoodie. Oh, lock in. Oh, I'm on the curb. Sorry, Hoodie. I mean, I'm partially sorry, partially that was a big block as I was going to go down the inside, but I'm going to apologise. I obviously didn't mean for it to go over the curb and and straight line it. That's not for me, but it could be. Still could be. Yeah, I've just got grip on the turn-in for the Ferrari. Now this Porsche's got bad ping, looking at the server list at the bottom, you can see it's red, so you can see the unnatural movements there, that's actually ping related, I'm pretty sure. But obviously you're going to experience bad ping with other people online, it's just the reality of it. There's a few with green, a few with yellow, a few with red. You'll see the little bar on the bottom left beside the car number, between the car number and the Ferrari emblem. Obviously need to learn how to drive this car around here as well. Get quick, learn where we can brake, where it's better or worse than the Mustang, but overall it just does feel a little bit more planted. It feels like downforce has been turned up by like 2% or something like that, and the stability under braking is much improved. And I've just got that front end bite still, like there. I can get in easily, get on the power, don't even need to use the curb. It just feels like the Mustang, I'm driving the nuts off it to try and get it to do things, and it's all over the place, whereas this just feels like it still has the same capability, but in a more kind of controlled and refined way. That's understeer though. I might not be able to do this whole race, guys. I don't know how long it's going to be, so I'll play it by ear. I do need to get going, but I definitely want to try. Oh, he was trying to enter the pits. Oh no! I may have been... If he was trying to enter the pits, that's shocking for me. Accidental. I just thought he was blocking. I was like, what? Wait a minute. And then obviously at that point, I'm committed to the inside. I thought no, the pit lane's here though, right? The pit lane is I think the pit lane's in the front straight. It was for me in the last race. Anyway, 2:16 and that's pole position on a bad first lap. So that shows you the Ferrari is quicker at the moment, guys. Which obviously is, you know, that's going to be improved and balanced, but for GT3 racing, you need it to be close. And when you've got a brand new circuit and you've got new GT3 cars being added to the game, ideally on day one is the time when we want these cars to be really close so that everyone racing online can have a proper race and doesn't feel like it's, you know, doesn't feel as early accessy, let's say. I mean, I'm already half a second up on that one again on my next lap. Let's not crash it into Heffalump. Great name. Yeah, I mean, we've got easy like 159s, I would say, on the table there, because I lost all the time and then gained it all back again on the exit. So we've got like a second. We're below the 2-minute mark at this point, I think, on the optimal lap. Heffalump's got good ping here, and it looks pretty natural the way the car's moving. Obviously, I haven't had a collision yet. Plenty of potential for collisions, I think. I also forgot to save the replay of that online race. I do apologise. I was going to save that. let me just back off, and then we'll try and actually get a good lap in this Ferrari. What was my fastest in the Mustang? Was it a 2:14, I think? So that's what we're going to be comparing it to. How is that an invalid lap? What have I done there? I do not understand the track invalidations in the last corner of Sebring. I really don't. What did I cross that was invalid? Was it on the outside? That Ferrari came out of the pits, so I was going for it. I thought they would get out of the way, but they didn't see me. Collision seemed natural though. Anyway, that lap's gone, so we will back off. We were already in overtime, I hadn't realised. Oh, I need fuel. Fuel. Ready for next session, sure. I can't actually get the car set up from this screen. It's a 20-minute race, so we'll put in 40 litres instead of 30. It all got a bit dicey there, didn't it? But I would like to see the contact. I think we're going to be too late to see it. Yeah, okay, that wasn't terrible. You got one tiny little look, and I don't think the cars actually touched visually, but they were very close to touching, so we're not talking the highest level of netcode on that incident, but it's also not awful. The contact didn't throw me in a weird way, for example. Now I'm showing his rubbish ping. Okay, why do we not have enough time? Why have we got 10 seconds to make the grid? No, quick. 60, that'll do. No. Did we make it? That is ridiculous. But anyway. I couldn't access the setup menu before the session advanced, and then I had about 10 seconds. I haven't had time either to assign my look left, look right, and look back thing, so I'm going to rely just on the little screen and the radar. Don't know about the Porsche, obviously, relatively, but I think based on my little AI race, the Ferrari's the fastest, then it's the Porsche, then it's the Mustang, which would actually line up perfectly within performance indicators by default with this game. Might need first gear through the hairpin in the Ferrari. Trying to deliberately run side by side here as long as we can get away with. That was pretty good. No complaints about that. Leaving a bit of room here on the inside, just don't mind it. Not fighting for the win, we're just fighting for battles and enjoyment. So we're going to just try and encourage some side by side racing. I'm obviously on too heavy a fuel load as well, which may affect performance, but we'll see. See what the Ferrari can do on this fuel load. Look how much more stable and better under brakes it is through here though. I brake at the same point and I've got every bit of control. No missed apex, no running wide, just does it all. Obviously still get a little snap of a rear end on the exits when I give it a boot full, which is fair enough. Larry's coming with us in P2. Can brake very late for this hairpin. Try first gear this time. Yeah, on the power, much better in first. Track's going a lot darker. Sun's gone away. I'm getting about 50 to 60 FPS still, according to my screen. But again, feels smooth, much better than before in certain situations. I have to say the FPS in online racing for me has never been terrible. It's been worse in kind of busy AI races. But this has got, I mean, how many cars in this race? 30? 31? 29 now, but there was 31 people in this race. We'll see what this lap time is, so we've got an idea on pace of the Ferrari versus the Mustang, and then I will back off and have a bit of fun. It's not been a perfect lap, but it's definitely been okay. It's been good enough to get an idea. That was terrible though. Huge amounts of understeer in the last corner. Probably lost 4, 5 tenths versus what I could do on a perfect lap. But it's a 2:01.0, so yeah. Heavier fuel as well, of course, but that's faster than my fastest lap in the Mustang. Right, let's let Larry go through. We've got a bit of a throttle problem. It's been a big incident for P3 anyway, so we've got a big gap. Larry seems to have good ping as well, so we'll see how this Ferrari behaves. This is where I start making mistakes and actually fall back. Yeah, I'm on single screen. Driving-wise, it's all right. It's not the best GT3 experience out there for these cars. It's also absolutely up there in the kind of top. Let's say it's amongst the best, but it's not the best. I still think, even though I think some elements of the force feedback and everything feel actually stronger than ACC, I still think at the moment prefer. I think that the GT3s are more refined on ACC still than this. And I still think it would feel more natural to jump in those, even though I acknowledge that ACC is not for everyone too. It's less knife. It's less on ice than iRacing, which has kind of been the case throughout the whole thing. But also, it's the rear of the Ford is very pointy, or the rear of the Ford. The rear of the Ford is very loose. It feels very kind of tail happy under braking. Very pointy front end. The Ferrari feels a little bit more balanced. So I think the word is decent but needing refined. I think that's fair. It's like rough edges, but a good base for sure. Like physics-wise, it feels good, and the feedback I'm getting is really good. Like I feel the bumps in the road really nicely, and yeah, I'm getting good information. But for me, the biggest thing with this update that's already improved, Larry's going to run wide, is the netcode does seem to be improved from what I've experienced so far. I've not had any weird collisions really with other people. I've just seen people with low ping going a bit mental, which is normal. And yeah, I've been able to race people relatively well. I think the performance has definitely taken a step forward with this update in terms of the overall FPS and the optimization of things. I think the AI has taken a step forward from the race I did there. Not perfect, still, of course, but a kind of an absolutely noticeable step forward. So some of the fundamental things that I'm not as happy with this game have been taking good steps forward, which is very important. Terry Tibbs in the Mustang. Yeah, I mean, I could have a totally reasonable online race in this, I think. Yeah, the handling, so definitely Adrian. handling differences definitely are because of the layouts and stuff. So the Ferrari's obviously mid-engined, the Mustang is front-engined, and 100% that will change the characteristics of the car. It just more feels like the differences make sense in terms of them being different and feeling different, but the overall Mustang default setup does not feel, it feels too much like it's set up for like rallying and direction changes, and it's not as stable under braking as it should be. There's certain things where I actually don't mind it. I think it's really fun to drive, and I can control it and use the brakes to get the car turned into the corner, but it's too aggressive. It's just needing balance, it needs refined. And it's also that the speed-wise, at Sebring at least, doesn't feel perfectly balanced at the moment. The Ferrari does seem a bit too quick, or maybe the Mustang's a bit too slow. The Ferrari just feels more safe on understeering and just way more together under braking. And I don't turn the car with the brakes, I actually turn the car with a combination of everything. Larry's 2 seconds behind again. But yeah, I think honestly I'm going to have to call it there because I have got a lot of video stuff to do for hopefully what will be a traction video coming up this week. So as I say, subscribe, make sure you don't miss it, hit the notification bell. But it's been really good fun jumping back on Assetto Corsa EVO. Of course, now that this game is getting better, it's like it eventually gets to a point, and it's still not there yet for me personally, where I actually want to be jumping on this game outside of just testing it when it updates. Like, there's enough other games that are more refined and more enjoyable at the moment that I would be driving on a regular basis. I will come back in, test this, see signs of improvement, that's great, but I still need more across the whole board to be able to say, well, this is one of those games I will have in top rotations for, you know, jumping in daily races very regularly. That's just the reality of it, with the options I've got. But of course, for some people, you're not playing all these different games, you're not having to analyse all these different games, you pick the ones you like, and it's great that for those of you who are on Assetto Corsa EVO, things are certainly moving in the right direction. Very, very positive. You're very welcome, Noz Industry, appreciate it, thanks for joining. I really appreciate you guys all contributing with your chat and obviously watching the stream. Hopefully you've learned something from it anyway and got some information that will help, and yeah, it's been thoroughly enjoyable, so thank you. I'm using a SimuCube 3 Pro TPT, which we just reviewed on the channel recently. That's a nice way to enter the pit lane. And I'm using the SimuCube Valo GT23 steering wheel. So, there you go. Alright. It was not a ranked server, so yeah, guys, I honestly have no idea what's going on with the servers. Or the streaming, I should say. I don't know if I'm back right now, but I just disappeared, I'm pretty sure. No clue why. But it seems to be Assetto Corsa EVO related. Like, whenever I'm playing Assetto Corsa EVO and streaming, things go really weird with my OBS, and I seem to crash, the stream goes down, all sorts of stuff. So, I do not have an explanation for that. Maybe I just need to set it to windowed mode and we'll fix everything, but I'm pretty sure I'd had that previously. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're finished. So thank you so much for joining. Very much appreciate the support. Hope you all have a great week. Check out the TraxionGG website on a daily basis for all of the latest racing game and sim racing news, reviews, features, guides, all of the above. And of course, subscribe to this TraxionGG YouTube channel for all of your racing game videos, and the Traction Control podcast channel for a weekly natter about racing games. Thank you very much. We'll see you all soon. Have a nice week. Apparently, my nice smooth exit is not working. The button's not working. Why have you let me down, OBS? Bye.